Fantasy art history with Abelard and Joe.
Great.
How about you?
Well, I'm a little nervous because it's been a while.
Yeah, I know.
Every time we don't do this for a while, I feel a little funny about it.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
Do I still got it? Do I still got it?
Well, I guess that's what we're here to find out today.
Well, that's not well.
Speaking of, remember when I was talking about starting a blog?
Yeah, that was like a couple of months ago. How's it going?
Hang on, I'm getting a text. 1 sec. Can Philip still come by?
Philip?
Yeah, he was talking about coming by.
Yeah. Is he gonna do a minute? Is he gonna do a minute?
Yeah, he's gonna do a minute. He said that he's in a hurry, but
yeah. Oh man,
I'll text him back.
That takes a lot of pressure off of me to entertain.
Yeah, come by.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he said he's in the neighborhood. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, phew, Philip. Yeah. That's great news.
Speaking of getting not having done something.
Get a little more into the shot.
Speaking of not having done something in a while.
Yeah.
I was looking at my blog and I was getting ready to write a new blog post, and I made the mistake of looking at my last blog post from 2021. Which was I've been away for a while, but I'm coming back. I've got a lot of new stuff I'm really excited to share with you. I've got a few pieces in the works. And I was looking at that, and I was thinking about what my next blog post was going to be, which I was planning to say stuff like, I've got a lot of new pieces in the works I'm really looking for. And I just kind of left it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you pretend... Here's an idea for you.
Yeah.
Why don't you pretend that... Why don't you, fake your own death as a blogger? Why don't you hop onto that blog and say, Abelard's gone, everyone. This is somebody new. I murdered him. Because of his poor blogging.
Wow, the mad blogger.
Yeah. I think this could really, and you could kind of, just kind of draw people in with this dramatic... And it's, and maybe later on you could reveal that it was all, a metaphor or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, guys. As some of you may have figured out from my ARG, it's me, Abelard. Alive and well. But what if you're the murderer and you're like, the blog is mine now, and I have a bunch of new posts for you, and then you just don't post anymore?
Well...
And then we're back in the same old pickle.
Well,
I murdered the second guy! Ha ha ha!
Well, everyone will be on the edge of their blog reading chairs waiting to find out what happened to you. Did the real Abelard come back from the dead?
Yeah.
And did he holly you off to blog prison?
Yeah.
Maybe he did.
The Count of WordPress.com. What's new with you?
I get up, I go to work, I get into the walls, I go home.
What's this? You last time you really liked your job.
Yeah, I really liked it. I was really excited for a week there.
Just a week?
Well, it felt like about a week. Maybe it was more like 2 weeks. Here's the thing, I got the thing is, it's not very dangerous, actually. I thought it was at first, but that was just because I was bad at it.
Yeah.
And now that I realize that it's not, exciting, but I'm not really risking anything or learning anything, I just go in the wall. I don't know. I might start looking for something new, I need to
really?
I need to feel more of a spark in life. I do that job every day, and no one ever gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
No one ever finds a treasure. No one ever has to,
Well, there aren't a lot of jobs where people get electrocuted or find treasures. It's pretty much being a professional treasure hunter or an executioner.
I don't know if I can handle either of those.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of hours.
I don't even know if there are treasure hunters anymore.
I think maybe.
Not for cool treasure. Like doubloons.
Is stealing a sort of treasure hunting?
I don't know if I would call that treasure hunting. I don't think of folding money as treasure, even if there's a lot of it.
What if it's like jewels, though?
Treasure to me is jewels. The
If you
Louvre
steal-
theft was the last real treasure hunt.
Last or
Yeah,
beginning of a new era in treasure
Yeah.
hunting.
yeah.
What better treasures to hunt than the ones that are, ill-gotten gains of our major museums?
Yeah. 2027 is going to be the year of treasure. Mark my words.
Cool.
Everyone's treasure hunting.
I'm ready for that. Well, if anyone
Yeah.
needs to hide some treasure in the walls, you know where to find
Done.
me. I'm good, and I know how to get in. I can get out. I can,
Yeah.
I could probably wire you up some sort of alarm system, I guess, up in there.
Hang on, I'm getting
Uh.
Hang on, let me go let him in.
Oh, get ready, everybody. It's just about time for that incredible... Oh, let me get the little label. That's right. It's...
Phil Webb's Literature Minute.
Start.
Okay, come on, Phil.
Yeah,
Phil
just
Burley.
come on.
The
It's
timer's
fine.
right. Come on in. Come on in.
Hey!
Hey,
Joe.
Hey,
Hey, Philip.
so good to see you. What you been up to, man?
Well, I finished. I'm on my way to the airport. Sorry, I'm in kind of a hurry.
Oh, okay. Wait. Is your plane leaving? O'Hare? Yeah. Are you gonna be in time?
Yeah, the plane leaves in like 2 hours, so I should have plenty of time from here.
Yeah.
They're just folding the paper now. Yeah. So I finished Gravity's Rainbow. I was reading it this past month.
That's a classic, huge book.
Yeah, it's about 750 pages, and it's 750 pages of the densest, most elusive writing you'll ever read. It's impossible to understand what's happening a lot of the time. I've never read a book that just cuts into a dream sequence without warning like that. There's a conversation between two people, and without warning, it turned into a conversation between two skin cells.
Is it good?
A different time, a guy dies in the middle of a sentence, and then it describes what happens to his ghost. Where do I start? It might be one of the most incredible books I've ever read. Never before have I read something that seems like a total understanding of the state of the world, what it is to be alive at this time, but also what it's like to be alive at any time. The sheer scope, the number of subjects... Hang on. Oh, my Uber's here. Bye, guys.
Whoa. Hang on.
Webb's Literature Minute.
Done. Wow, he was really in a hurry.
Wow, he really likes Gravity's Rainbow, I think.
Yeah, I know he doesn't. He really hates to be late to the airport. It makes him really flustered.
Yeah. Well, that's all of us. They probably talk about that in that book, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I'll get around to Gravity's Rainbow one day.
It sounds like it's got everything.
Yeah.
Speaking about something that's got a little bit of everything, or at least a lot of one certain thing, you want to introduce our art subject today?
Yeah, listeners, today we're talking about the temptation of St. Anthony as a theme.
Ooh. It sounds like we're doing a little fine art.
Fine art.
Better pour yourself a little glass of wine, everyone.
Yeah.
Settle down into your most distinguished chair.
Get ready to receive a multi-million-dollar endowment. It's fine art time. But why are Abelard and Joe covering something like this? Well, I think it's because throughout history, or since there was a St. Anthony in about the 3rd century AD.
Since mankind picked up a hunk of burnt wood and started drawing on the walls, he realized that the funnest thing to draw was a messed up little dude.
A little freak.
A weird little guy.
What kind of weird little freaks could exist?
What if there was a guy on the bottom, but on the top, he was like a weird bird man?
Yeah.
And what if he had a spear and he was spearing some regular guys with it?
Yeah. What if he had a tea kettle but there was like a bird's head sticking out of the tea kettle?
Whoa.
So the thing is, if you are a fine artist in the sort of Christian West for a lot of history, you didn't have that many outlets to draw or paint stuff like that, and you had to find it where you could in the marginalia of illuminated manuscripts, in the eaves of cathedrals, or in the handful of sacred subjects that allowed you to paint weird little demons. And
Yeah.
one of the number one among these was the Temptation of Saint Anthony.
Let me get up our first temptation over here. Get ready to
Yeah.
see some little guys.
Yeah. So this is an engraving. I think this is like 15th century. This is
Sounds good.
the first Michelangelo painting is a painting basically of this engraving. And by Matthias Schongauer, one of those like Northern Renaissance engraving master guys. So like really beautiful draftsmanship. We got St. Anthony in the middle there, surrounded by a bunch of weird little freaks.
I have a question, Abelard.
Yeah.
So who's St. Anthony? What's his whole deal?
St. Anthony was one of the first monks. So he's not mentioned in the Bible. He's a couple hundred years later. He lived in North Africa in the, I think, like 3rd century AD. And he was one of the first people to practice like extreme, I don't remember what you call this, like hermitage? Like being an anchorite? Like he just went off into the desert, didn't hang out with anybody, lived in a state of extreme deprivation.
Oh.
Eventually a bunch of people like went to the rock that he was living behind, that he wouldn't come out and talk to them, and sort of formed a little community around him because they thought he was so great, and then he came out occasionally and would hang out with them. But then there was a bunch of basically folklore, right, that accumulated around him about some of the stuff that happened to him, and one of the recurring themes was that he would be tempted, and a separate thing was that he would be beaten up by demons.
Oh.
And here are some of the demons.
Do you think he just wanted to be alone?
I think, and we go back and forth about this, you and I, but I think that quite often people in the past believed sincerely in their religion and were trying to figure out what to make of it. And this was, 3rd century AD. I think even now everybody has a different idea of what their interpretation of Christianity is, but especially then, when you're trying to figure out just like, well, what does God want me to do?
Yeah. And then we have, on top of that, we have the interpretation of this event by an artist living way, way, way in the future. But, as people did during the Renaissance, if you were trying to draw a picture of something that happened like, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, far away, you would just draw it like it was happening to some guy who lived down the street. So we have a sort of, although there's not a lot of landscape here, you're going to see a lot of, Northern European landscapes in these. And the other thing that is kind of up to the artist's interpretation here is the idea of what this temptation looks like.
Yeah.
And how there's a sort of disconnect between you would think the title, The Temptation of St. Anthony, would be a guy, and then there would be a bunch of people like bringing him beautiful cakes, or like riches. A gorgeous lady might come by.
Yeah.
But instead he's mostly being bedeviled.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of a Jim Henson way. Like, he's not being tortured on the rack or anything. It's like a guy's hitting him with a stick and another guy's yanking on his ear.
And do you have an opinion about why this would be the way that you would treat it? Because I gotta say, like, artists, even in the Renaissance, if they had an excuse to draw a naked lady, they would take it.
I think the Northern Renaissance guys seemed a little different to me. Not that they didn't get horny in their private lives, but they don't seem to be as at pains. Okay, well. I just think of them as like still life guys. Like, ooh, I can't wait to paint like a lobster behind 2 empty wine glasses.
Yes, sexy, sexy lobster.
Yeah, but so what's going on here?
What is happening?
Why is this guy being because there is a separate St. Anthony story about him getting attacked by demons when he's wandering around in the desert.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what's happening here. But again, even this isn't really doesn't seem like an attack. And the demons are like really silly and fun. Like the one on the left, the kind of spiny fish with a long nose. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I have no ill will toward him, but he's preparing to hit St. Anthony with a stick.
He's great. So I don't know if here's theory number one is that, which I've just devised, that the temptation that the demons are offering is that they will stop and go away.
Yeah.
If he promises to like not love God anymore
Yeah.
or whatever, to do,
Yeah.
to turn away from his religion, the demons will leave him alone.
I will stop trying to stick my index finger into your ear. You just turn your back on the Lord.
Yes. And I can sympathize with that because I think everyone who's alive feels like they are beset by, irritating, weird circumstances at all times that they don't deserve.
Yeah.
This is just sort of like, what if all of the dumb little things that happen to you throughout the day, what if that was a guy?
Yep.
What if it was a guy who lost your keys?
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to move to another treatment of this subject now?
I do want to say one or two things about this piece in particular first. Incredible little guys. Secondly, the treatment of the clouds or sky up above, where it's just some little lines that get lighter. I love that. It's simple and dumb, but it looks really good. I don't know. It's a cool composition. And
it's very cool. I think it's no surprise that this is the thing that Michelangelo said this will be my first ever painting, because it's the knot of bodies thing. It's like a shape made out of a bunch of bodies moving around, just like the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our second temptation.
Yeah. Temptation 2.
Temptation 2.
Yeah. Well, this hardly looks like a temptation at all. This is a little scene.
This is a guy having a nice time with his pig.
Yeah.
And this is a Hieronymus Bosch, yes?
Yeah, you would think Hieronymus Bosch, well, why isn't it 3 panels wide and like red and full of a million little things? This is more subtly full of a million little things.
Yeah, we're going to have to zoom in.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and start zooming right now so we can look at some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we can just make it huge. It's a pretty big Hires image. Yeah, so we've got these guys. And this is in the same category of like the worst thing a demon could do would give you like one of those arm twist burns or like pinch your nose or whatever. Like they're just pouring a jug of water on poor old St. Anthony.
Yep.
We got this other like maybe kind of platypus type guy down here.
Yeah. He's got little feet. He's got kind of head wings and a fish face.
Yeah.
And then we're going to just scroll past it.
St. Anthony. This is how I feel when I'm being bedeviled.
It's a wonderful pose.
Yeah.
Is the pig his friend?
Yeah. Is it a demon making fun of him by sitting like that, or is it his trusty companion?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we can see the watermark real big. Sorry, guys. And we also have a little creature that's made out of several pieces of kitchen equipment and has arms and here's something that I think the striking thing about the way Bosch creates monsters is that I feel like no one else quite does it this way.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of monsters in say like marginalia of medieval manuscripts and stuff. But none of them are like this. None of them have this sort of, I don't know, there's something modern about it. There's something mechanical about it. And there's something like before the invention of surrealism it is really surreal. And it's surreal in a way that's not just like I've stuck the head of the fish on the body of a different creature, because we've been doing that forever. Yeah. It's got a particular the human hands coming out of the upturned funnel is disturbing in a way that I can't, like, I don't think I can pick apart why that is weirder than many other things that people try to throw together to be weird.
Yep.
But it is. Do you have any idea?
I agree about that. I don't know if I really have an answer. It's just a very like diffuse way of composing things. There's a if you look like the thing like even the funnel guy, you could draw a guy with two arms coming out of a funnel holding a hammer, but this guy there, he only has one hole in his funnel, and so he only has one armhole, and the other one has to come out from under the lip of the funnel, so it's kind of inconvenient. And it's that
Yeah.
weird mix of like total absurdity and like a bizarre kind of like physical realism.
Yeah.
I
Yep,
wonder if all
yep.
this stuff, like coming around the hillside, like you can see that little ladder and everything, if that's supposed to be kind of like siege equipment or something like that.
Like there's more weird little stuff going on in the
Yeah.
background here. Like it kind of that's the edge of the painting, but it looks like there's a bunch of more guys coming.
Mhm.
Maybe they're coming up the hill to do a siege on
Yeah, here come the little freaks getting ready to bug
What?
St. Anthony.
him. Yeah.
Man, it is. You can kind of see them getting ready to do their. It's pretty sick.
It's pretty
Yeah.
great. And then all the way in the background here, we just have what I think is mostly like a pretty regular scene,
Yeah.
more or less, with beautiful fields ready to harvest. Although these guys down here, like, they're so small.
Yeah.
But they might be some more weirdos that are on their
I think
way
the fact
over.
that some of them are piled behind that, what looks like a big shield to me, is like, I'm on my
Yeah.
way to annoy St. Anthony.
Yeah. He left town.
Yeah.
And he tried to come out here just so he could think about God all
Yeah.
by himself where no one would bother him. And now look what's happening.
That's an interesting point I didn't put together for this picture. If you want to convey that somebody's a hermit, you should put them next to a city in the distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at this.
Yeah.
So I think the other reason, and of course Bosch is a good person to point this out with, the other reason, the real temptation in conclusion, the real temptation that we're viewing here is not the temptation of St. Anthony, it's the temptation of that the artist experiences when offered the opportunity to make up a bunch of weird little guys.
Yeah.
This is
1,000,000%.
This is a powerful and splendid like little task to be given as an artist. And in the world of fantasy art and RPG art that we talk about more often, you get to do this all the time.
You don't need a pretext. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I think that, a million books with lots of monsters in them, and how popular those are, prove that it's almost as much fun to look at them as it is to draw them.
Yep.
But it's really fun to draw them because you get to make it up, and because they're made up, there's no rules, and because it's also they're like monstrous. They don't really have to have a coherent body plan, so you get to just operate with utter freedom in terms of what goes where. You make a little mistake, you can draw something different because it's a monster anyway. Maybe he's got 3 arms now. That wasn't a mistake. No one ever needs to know.
Yeah.
It's pure play for an artist, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like maybe for Hieronymus Bosch, all these funnels and everything had some deep symbolic meaning, or they were about alchemy or whatever. But I also think he was having fun.
I think he's one of the most fun having of this kind of artist.
Yeah.
I think. He seems to just have been having a good time.
Yeah. Shall we look at another piece?
One more.
Let's see what else we got here.
Is this a cover your eyes one next?
Oh, I think it might be.
Yeah, if you have
you're
a delicate
sensitive,
constitution or you work for YouTube moderation, cover your eyes.
Don't watch this one.
Yeah.
So I before, as an introduction, to answer the question, did anyone ever depict St. Anthony being tempted by something sexy?
Yeah.
Yes, one guy did. And we're going to look at it. But just for a second, because it's not actually that good. So we're 3.
Yeah.
Here it is.
There it is.
There we go. That's how you really tempt St. Anthony, except he doesn't really look like he's liking this.
He looks like he's saying Gadzooks.
I think this piece is very funny. This piece is by an extremely horny artist from the turn of the century named Felician Rops.
Yeah.
He was great at drawing. If you want to have an interesting time looking at some drawings, you can go ahead and Google his oeuvre.
Yeah.
And
he seems very, very modern in a lot of ways.
if he was alive today, he would be, how did you put it? He would be...
he would have a gray area Patreon that would be doing swimmingly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this, except one guy did have the idea and he did draw it. And every single other depiction of St. Anthony is about the weird little demons.
Yep.
So let's get right back to that.
More little demons.
More little demons.
Yeah, so this is the next. So it's enduringly popular. And that Felician Rops piece, you can probably tell from the style, but that's not like Bosch era. That's 1870 or something like that. And it is a enduringly popular topic.
Yep.
Everyone, even now, likes to do some Temptations of St. Anthony.
Even the world's biggest art hack, Salvador Dali, did one. I don't like him. I don't want to talk about him.
I don't like him either.
I do think I got to acknowledge that the really thin legs are gross.
Yeah.
Good job.
I kind of like this painting, but I don't like Dali in general.
He sucks. Okay. But who doesn't suck? Max Ernst.
Max Ernst.
Oh, I gotta scooch this over a little bit. This painting is also really gross.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's really grimy. He really looks like they're getting him. Yeah. He's lying down. That's St. Anthony in the middle. The red thing, you can barely see an upturned face. And there are weird little ghouls. This one really brings it with the different textures, I think.
Yes.
Like horrible, dark, primordial, furry, viscous, scaly stuff happening to poor old St. Anthony.
Well, Max Ernst used to do a lot of techniques where for the way he was getting these textures was by not like thinking of them and painting them, but he would like apply the paint using various different things. Like he would just kind of like put the paint on a surface, then put the surface onto the canvas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then he would kind of vibe on those textures that had been applied. So what you're looking at is sort of this, I don't know, it's not quite collage. I'm sure there's a name for this, which I haven't looked up and I can't remember, but it's what gives you this sort of like insane, in some places kind of photorealistic effect, in other places this weird smearing of stuff. Like he was just really experimenting with the way he physically put the paint on the canvas. I think Max Ernst is a cool and smart artist.
I think he's really underrated as like a popular artist. Like all of his paintings are really appealing. The ones I've seen in person are really lovely to look at. And they're very gratifying. Like it's really they're fun images, Yeah.
I think there's a lot of the
good monsters.
These are good monsters.
I'm gonna bring them up later, but both of these guys, the guy on the left with the big mouth and the guy on the right with the bunny ears and the long beak, they both have a little of that like Jim Woodring Numenon on them,
I think there's also some of what we're seeing here is this effect of like you find the form through making it. We were talking about that when we talked about John Blanche and how he draws. But that goes all the way back to like I remember seeing a thing in like one of Leonardo da Vinci's workbooks where he talks about like, oh, if you need to figure out a landscape to paint, well, look at the walls of your house. There's probably a crack in that paint because you live in like Florence and it's like 1500s and probably your walls aren't built very well. There's a crack in there. Well, that's a line of mountains. There you go. Done. Wow. So artists have been doing this forever, and if you're smushing a bunch of weird paint onto your canvas, seeing what happens, and then you're like, oh, that looks kind of like a mouth. We'll put a mouth on there. So there's an element of chance rather than design. And but you're still designing it. You're just kind of like looking for shapes in the clouds, and that will get you to some really wild, weird places. You're just using the human ability to see things where things aren't there, which, that's basically where demons come from, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you give it some eyeballs, you give it some fangs.
Give it a little face.
Give it a little face or whatever. Weird. Terrible.
Yeah.
Or no. Also, it's the luridest color ever.
He really reminds me of like Roger Dean or somebody like that, like the guy doing the album covers for like Asia and Yes and stuff like that.
This stuff is fun as hell to paint, and it's also very fun to look at. This is I think this is another thing that is why this subject is great for artists, because it encourages you to do a bunch of little stuff. It's all about the little multiples of stuff in the painting. So really the way to look at this is not to look at the whole painting as a whole. It's to get up to the actual piece and then kind of like take a little trip in there and see all of the weird things that have been invented and that fill up the corners. Okay, and then we're gonna turn this off. And then we're gonna look at one more.
One more.
So this is by Leonora Carrington. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Who is also a surrealist. And was she like really a symbolist technically?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
She's in there anyway. I don't like all of her paintings, but I do like this one.
I like this one. Yeah. This one to me, it's like very much it's very directly in conversation with the Bosch one that we showed earlier.
Yeah.
And it has a really interesting perspective. I think it's interesting that for a Temptation of St. Anthony, it's very like sedate and restful. Mm-hmm. Even the pig is in more of a relaxed attitude than the first pig.
I'm really curious as to if there's like some sort of like, and he had a sacred pig.
I don't know how the pig
never left his side, or if it's
the
just
article
like...
didn't mention a pig, but there keeps being a pig.
Right, friends. Comment if you know what's with the pig.
What's going on with the pig?
Does it symbolize something, or is it just a pig?
But the thing here, like if I read it, if the figure in white in the middle is Saint Anthony, mm-hmm. then that's the like most grotesque thing, because there are a bunch of tiny little heads in his beard.
Whoa! Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I like how he appears to be like a broken eggshell.
Yeah.
Which also reminds me of that. There's that other Bosch painting where there's kind of like a man's head that's broken like an eggshell, or like the bottom part of his body is broken.
Yeah.
I think it's but it's a really like the wonderful image of fragility here, but it's his robes, and it's enclosing him and protecting him, but not very well. I don't know. I don't know that I have that much to say about it, but the swirling waters around him are very nice.
It's reworking the little freaks pouring the pitcher on him into them pouring out the body of water that's also in that first picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to one more?
Yeah. We're going to go, before we take our leave tonight, we're going to look at one more, even more recent Temptation of St. Anthony. And it is right here. Yeah. And this is called St. Anthony Pleasure Park, and it's by an artist named Philip Hansen. And this was done, by present day artists, real fine artists are still doing this subject. I think this is in etching, and I think it's hysterical.
Yeah.
This is sort of in a way, in modernity, we are no longer tormented by small devils. We are tormented by large structural devils.
Yep.
And here you have here you have the modern condition presented in this sort of cartoonish way, where at least you have a choice between the sort of large edifice that's going to chew you up as you enter it.
Do you also read it as the little square, like the little cubicle area in the middle being like menaced by all the other buildings? Like that's the St. Anthony?
Oh, that's nice too. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. You want to have what if you can't live in a regular house anymore? We're building up this whole pleasure park all around you.
Yeah.
Too bad.
How I hate it when my rent goes up by 15% because they built the screaming ziggurat next.
Oh.
Yeah, this one's great. I really like the thin like ballpoint pen style lines, and then the faint color makes me think of like the like notebook doodle.
Yeah.
You know, like I drew stuff like this, not like this, but you know.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Well, Evelyn.
Well, Joe.
I guess it's time for us to head off.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us again, everybody. May your weekend be free of being yanked on by demons. And until next time.
Keep on dreaming.
All right, bye.
Bye.